And welcome back to another Road to the Apocalypse. Hop in the car, grab the road map because we're going to navigate our way to some interesting tidbits here. See what I did there? Road map. Yeah. So back on the deadlinger.com, we're going to scroll on down again to our good buddy, the road map. So we're in a few items here. Last time we talked about infection. Today we're going to talk about ranged combat firearms and throwables, which is good because they need a lot of work still. They're at 30%. I mean, it's not terrible what they have. I think a lot of it has to do right now with the like hitboxes on the zombies, because it's amazing how, like, with a crossbow, I mean, I can make many shots, and you'll just see bolts and things go right through the head, right through the neck, just pass on through. But when you do land a shot, I mean, it's really cool to see the arrow sticking out. Bow seems a lot more accurate than the crossbow. One of the previous builds they had, when they added the bow, I think 11, they added the bow, and then they had to take the crosshairs out. They had a crosshair system that didn't quite work out. So in build 12, there's not like really a zoom in system for the bow and crossbow. They work, not the best. But I do know that's something coming on the way, though. They have a few guns in there. I mean, they got some pistols, they got some rifles, they have a sniper rifle, hunting rifle, something that looks like an M16. And I don't quite know all the names of everything because they're not quite named how I would think they should be. What's cool is that they're sticking some of the Kickstarter names onto some of their weapons. I think I don't know where it's at. Someone could probably put it down in the comments for me because I'm too lazy to look. But there is somewhere a posting that has the names of the items linked up with the names of the contributors, so you can go and see like which weapons have what names. Because I don't think they're going to be using actual names from the weapon systems. You know, that probably licensing and whatnot. So the weapons work. I see that they've been working on a magazine system. Now, this is what's interesting to me. And someone explained it to me, and I kind of have gotten a chance to see it in action. But when you open up some of the weapons, or you open up your inventory, and let's say you're holding a weapon, what's interesting is it'll show like 3 little squares. This is how it currently works in build 12. So if you see different in the future, it's maybe a different build or a change. Right now, you open up your inventory, you see 3 little squares, and that represents the magazines that are, like, I guess, come with the weapon. And so, like, let's say you pick up an M16. It has 3 magazines. Each magazine holds about 30 rounds. So if you get yourself several boxes of ammo and you hit reload, essentially what your character is doing is he's loading up those magazines. And so he starts at the top magazine, fills it off, and then, you know, the remaining bullets you have go into the remaining magazines. And that's how I've seen it work. So it's interesting that you could have, say, 3 magazines kind of loaded up, be running through a bunch of zombies. You run out of 30 rounds, and then it takes a moment to load up the other magazine. But at some point, you're going to have to reload those magazines with bullets. So it's an interesting system. I kind of like it. You don't have to worry about tracking a bunch of magazines or anything like that. It's kind of a compromise on realism between, you know, say having to find magazines out in the world and load them versus just having, hey, I've got boxes and boxes of ammo, and every time I hit reload, it just automatically gives me a full amount. So it's a pretty good system. The bows, they load one at a time. So you shoot an arrow, hit the reload button, and your guy actually has to fit another arrow, you know, either into the crossbow or the bow. So that's pretty good. Now, I don't see any kind of weapon stats. I mean, so it's not like Battlefield 4. You can't go to like the Synthic site or whatever that's called and look at all the statistics for damage and drop over time, over range, anything like that. They're pretty basic. You know, you line up a shot, you shoot. I went hunting last night with the hunting rifle. Luckily, I was able to shoot a buck, took 2 shots, dropped it. Wasn't terribly difficult, had a scope on it. I don't see currently anything in the way of like attachments. So these are things that are coming. So like if we look here at the roadmap, it does say planned. They want to add more, like add stealthier weapons such as crossbows and bows. So they have that in place. I don't know if they'll add different types, you know, varieties. But they do mention slingshots, which would be interesting. You know, one thing you got to think about trade-off is like the damage. Like, would it be worth carrying a slingshot? Could be set up that the slingshot is more common until you actually find a bow. So that's a rarity issue we got to think about. Thrown weapons. I have not seen a thrown weapon. And I thought about this before. In one of my videos, I talked about the 2x4. I was always thinking, gee, how come I can't make a spear? You know, I found an axe. I got all this wood. Well, the 2x4... it's not quite a spear, but I mean, shoot, you could hit somebody with it. But now, if they're going to have thrown weapons, you know, that could be a spear. All those combat knives you're finding, maybe you can throw those at some point. I can sort of throw items now, so if it's small enough, I pick it up with my middle mouse button and it's hovering in the air, and then if I click the fire button, it kind of throws it. So I mean, they have kind of like the beginnings of a throwing system, but I wasn't brave enough to actually throw anything at a zombie to see if it does damage. So probably need a specific throwing weapon for that. Let's see. It says we're also going to be adding bullet drop and other variables. So like I said, those things currently aren't in. I know someone on a much earlier build, when they first got pistols in, they had like unlimited ammo, and they, I mean, super accurate. So I know they've made some tweaks to make them a little more realistic. Like they have like a center dot on your screen when you're not aiming down sight, which can work, especially if the zombie's really close, but you do have a lot more accuracy when you aim down sight. So I mean, some of those mechanics are in place, which is nice. It says they wanted to add those things to better simulate real life while maintaining the fun gameplay and make it kind of skill based as opposed to luck-based weaponry. So it's a good start. I mean, all of what they have, a lot of what they have, it's the beginning. So those things are there. The placeholders are there. And all they can really do from here is just continue to add. So they're not in a position where they have to, you know, add weapons. At this point, they can concentrate on adding more, checking on their rarity, checking on how they're going to be placed when you go find them. You know, do you have to go like into the prison to find the more spectacular weapons? Where will those be located? So it'd be interesting to see where they take it from here. Some of the weapons I have currently found. Let's see. I guess the sledgehammer works. The fireman axe works. I found a sniper rifle. I've got a combat knife, skinning knife. I do have a bow. I do have a crossbow. I have found a 9mm pistol. I found like a 357 Magnum, I think is what it was. I'm sure there might be a crowbar. Might be some other stuff I'm missing, a 2x4. So it all those make sense. I'm not expecting to find a whole lot of military firearms because that's not the focus of the game. You're mostly dealing with civilians, and a lot of the stuff I found have been civilian weapons. Which, speaking of, is shotgun, for example. I found a shotgun. You know, those are super, super common, and the places I found them mostly make sense. I found like hunting rifles and shotguns either in bedrooms or in living rooms. And you might not think, well, the average family doesn't carry a shotgun in the living room. But if you look at it from the context of the story, you know, if that family is doing some kind of last stand against the zombies or protecting the home, they probably would have a weapon or two in the living room or up in the bedroom. So it really makes sense what they've got going on so far. So it'd be really nice to see where they take it from here. So again, the system is only 30% done. I don't know how that's going to change once we hit the next build. They're putting out a lot of teaser information for build 13 currently, so I'm really excited to see what we got. But I have rambled on long enough for that. I look forward to see your thoughts and comments about the firearms, and look to seeing you in game. All right, thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll be able to get another one posted up tomorrow. All right, take care. See y'all later.